What is up? It's Andy coming to you on a Wednesday, a day that most people dread, a day that people think, oh, we have 2 more days until the freedom of Friday. Not for any of you people. Every single day, doesn't matter, Monday, Sunday, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, it's all the same. It's all the same because you have tickets chock full of sniffs. And that's not going to be any different tonight. I know you guys already had your Indian cricket bets in, and then you're going to have your Premier League bets during the day, and then eventually when it gets to nighttime, you'll make your way to some NHL sniffs. And I think I'm keeping you up late tonight. You like betting round the clock? You like betting on that Indian cricket? Then I'm going to keep you up late tonight because you want to know what I'm going to open up talking about today, a game that I found a lot of interest in. I'm taking an interest in this game, and that is the Anaheim Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights. A lot of disrespect to those teams out west. They don't get that media attention. You have stars that just kind of drift off into the night. Unless you put one of those stars on the cover of NHL, and then he disappears for a couple of years. Are we going to be hearing from him tonight? Possibly. And if you're already thinking like, oh, come on, I got to stay up late. I got to stay up and sweat these out to the end of the West Coast games. Well, think about this. I make these videos after the West Coast games. So if I could stay up and make these, right now, as these words are coming out of my mouth, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's that Truman Show camera of you just sleeping comfortably overnight while I'm scrolling through lines trying to get you guys some decent sniffs on a Wednesday. So you're staying up late or early, depending on when your Indian cricket bet starts. Maybe we're just going to roll it right into that Indian cricket. I always just assume it's Indian cricket. I think there's Pakistani cricket. I don't know the major cricket leagues, but I'm always thinking the Indian League and the Pakistani League. Is that just completely made up? Do they love cricket in the Netherlands? I have no clue. I'll never know, the same way you've never had a car. So let's talk about this Anaheim-Vegas game. So much to talk about. I mean, how could I have so much to talk about in this game? Well, how about we start on a side that you can kind of get behind, because I don't want to get you all riled up when I talk about Anaheim. On the Vegas side, we've seen Mark Stone miss a couple games, probably maintenance for that back. I think, who knows? You never know with him. He's kind of on permanent long-term injured reserve, kind of, not really. If playoffs started tomorrow, he'd be playing. But what we do know is that in his 2-game absence, Nick Waugh has taken the wing alongside Jack Eichel and alongside Jack Eichel on that top power play. And as you know, that has a ton of value. He had multiple points in that first game, and then essentially their whole team was kind of not blanked, but they didn't have an easy time getting chances against the Carolina Hurricanes, and we'll hear from them on this slate as well. This is going to be another memento slate where we start from the West Coast and work our way back to the East Coast. So Nick Waugh alongside Eichel at even strength and on the power play, if we're fetching a good price on him, a plus money price, because we don't know what it is, my guess is those sports books are hesitant to put it out, because if they give us a plus 125, we're going to be smacking that thing. They're probably waiting to see Mark Stone's status, because I'm seeing the prices on the other players. But I'm waiting for that Nick Waugh. I'm waiting for it, because then I can do Waugh. I can do Waugh for a point and Eichel for a point. So I do like that Nick Waugh point if it starts with anything named plus. That's the side that you guys know about. Now I want to talk about Anaheim. The one guy from Anaheim that you've heard me talk about pretty frequently is Troy Terry. I think he can play on any team in the NHL, and he would look like a good player. And finally, you're starting to see that this year. He's the one guy, amidst all this line juggling, amidst all these different lineup changes and power play changes, he's consistently producing. Finally, Anaheim has done the right thing and put the next best player and potentially the next best player or two on his line. All 3 of those guys are going to be together on the top power play. So Troy Terry, and then their leading scorer from last year, Frank Vatrano, and then Mr. Poster Child himself, cover of NHL. I can't believe they would do that, T.Zegras. I would want him miles away from my playoff roster, But as far as my Wednesday roster, playing on that line, who's been productive, that Terry Vatrano combo hit last game, and obviously Terry's been pretty productive this whole year. I think playing alongside those two players and having a chance on that top power play alongside those two players, I want that point for T.Zegras. I mean, you're not going to get a much better price than this. He's been awful, but you want to strap Killorn on somebody's wing. He could do that to pretty much anybody. But now you have Zegras playing with the other two best players on the Ducks. You know what? In a spot that looks like it can be some sort of a rat upset type of game, give me T.Zegras for a point, as well as his two line mates for a line mate parlay. Give me Vatrano for a point and Troy Terry for a point. This one hit last game. And even if they do lose, and it's not a rat game, these are the two guys who are most likely to find themselves on the score sheet. So I'm putting some chips behind the top line on Anaheim. And if you want me to do it, don't make me do it. You're going to make me do it? Give me the Anaheim Ducks to beat the Vegas Golden Knights. Look, Anaheim is coming off a decent win. Probably, I mean, they don't have a ton of wins on the year, but let's just call it their best win of the year, albeit not against an impressive opponent. Vegas essentially just handed their worst loss of the year. They haven't been a good road team to this point. They've been a great home team. If they're missing Stone, maybe it's a mail-in. We saw them mail in the game in Anaheim last year. Let's see if maybe we can get a little Anaheim. I know we had a ballsy Sharks call against the Kings. I would consider this one tier up because the Golden Knights are one of the favorites out of the West. They have a lot of good players over there, but maybe we catch them no Stone, maybe a little unprepared, kind of like last year where they lost in Anaheim. Give me the Anaheim Ducks. All right, so what I'm about to say, it runs counter to everything I just said. I just essentially picked the Ducks to win, and I picked all those guys on the top line. I can be right about all that and still somehow be right about this next combo. Any originals who followed me from the original Lightning Stanley Cup run, you know the two guys who made us money during those 2022 playoffs. They cashed that under half of a point. Game after game after game once we got to the conference finals. And I'm going to take an under on both of them here. Not just because it's an ode to 2022, but because there is rhyme and reason. They finally stacked the best players on the top line and top power play in Anaheim. And they finally sent the worst players down to power play 2, line 3. And that is Ryan Strome and Killorn. They're playing together, and if they want to screw me, at least have it be on the way to an Anaheim win. So I'm going for the point combo on the top line, top power play guys, and the under Stranger Things upside down combo, the under half of a point on Ryan Strome and Killorn. A lot of stuff in a random ass game, but that's what you get here. You never know where the mad scientist is going to go on a Wednesday. So that's the assortment of sniffs that I like. You're staying up. You're staying up with me on a Wednesday. Then let's work our way west a little bit. I told you we're starting from the West Coast, and then we're going to head to the East Coast. Let's stop in Utah and check in on those Phoenix Coyotes who happen to play in Utah, who are facing the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina's come through with a lot of solid defensive performances for us. I'm always tempted to take the other team for under 2.5 goals, but it's just kind of a game you glance over. Is Carolina going to be up for this one? That was a big win against Vegas. Could this be a potential letdown spot? We know that they're going to be missing Seth Jarvis, so that top line is going to have to do a lot. That Aho, Svechnikov, Roslovic line is going to have to do their fair share. I'm going back to an oldie but a goodie. He was in the minus for a week and a half, didn't register any points. He's back in the plus. They probably need a little added offense from him without Jarvis in the lineup. Give me the over half of a point for S.Gostisbehere, the power play 1 defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes. They're showing me plus 115 for him. You're showing me that. I'll show you a click on my ticket, so give me the over half of a point. So how about let's get on that plane? Let's go to Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was a pretty long flight. So in this Pittsburgh Red Wings game, very difficult to predict when a team gets truly embarrassed on their own home ice. We saw Pittsburgh get embarrassed by the Carolina Hurricanes, and then they came back the very next night and beat Washington, who everybody's completely high on right now. So don't just think because they got smashed by the Stars that they're just going to get smashed again. Although, as I told you last time, before we talked about that Dallas game, they're not a very good team. They're a team who happened to be coming off a win against Washington, but they do not have many good players, and they could struggle again in this one as well. What I'm looking at are a couple players on the Detroit Red Wings. Number one, same type of thing. I'm going with the S.Gostisbehere on Detroit, who is going to be M.Seider playing the point on that power play, and that power play has been pretty good. I mean, they have 4 great forwards and M.Seider working the point. So give me Seider. You saw what Heiskanen did against that team. I know Seider's not Heiskanen, but I'm just talking about the power play one defenseman being able to get points against a team who has bad defense and bad goaltending. So give me that over half of a point for M.Seider. And then also give me the assist for P.Kane, a classic, a fan favorite, an assist for P.Kane. He's one of the quarterbacks of that power play. And I think against Pittsburgh, any game they could be letting enter, even in that win, the Capitals got 3 on them. So it's not like, it's just very rare that Pittsburgh's shutting everything down. So I will take those players on the Detroit Red Wings. And that's what I have for you here on a Wednesday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed here to my YouTube channel. It's always very much appreciated. You know, we got an ebb and we got a flow. Sometimes we're funny. Sometimes we're serious. Sometimes I despise you. Sometimes you despise me. That's what it's all about here on the YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed. Click the notification so you know when the latest video comes out. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. Sometimes it's morning. Sometimes it's night. Sometimes it's when I feel like it. So the only way you will know when they come out is if you theoretically click the notifications. But some people tell me, like, oh, I click it and I've never gotten one notification. So I don't know if you have to go into, you have to click notifications, then enable notifications. Who the hell knows? It'll probably take 75 minutes, but I'll appreciate it if you take the time to do that. But not as much as I'd appreciate it if you take the time to subscribe to the Patreon. Very much appreciate. You guys are the sole sponsors of this show. Do you see the Snickers logo down there? And I'm just pissed off that I gave them free advertising. No, you guys are the advertisers of this show. You make it happen. And I'm very grateful always to all of you who joined the Patreon and remain a member over there. Hopefully I see you over there. If not, I'll see you tomorrow for some NHL and NFL Week 11 Sniffs. Take it easy. I will talk to you then.